Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Fareeha, and today we are joined by the headmaster of Shrewsbury International School, Dominic Tomalin. The school, which has a legacy of 472 years, is now coming from the UK to India for the first time, and it is going to start functioning from August this year. Thank you for joining The Print, sir.
Oh, it's my great pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We'll discuss today about the plans for the school and why you decided to come to India. My first question will be the same. Why India? Why Shrewsbury decided to set a campus in India?
So Shrewsbury School in the UK, as you said, is nearly 500 years old. Like many of the bigger schools in the UK that have been around for a long time, they've been looking to expand internationally. And in fact, Shrewsbury was an early mover in that market. So back in 2004, they set up their first overseas campus in Thailand. And we will be their fifth campus, but their first one, which is fully residential. Now, five campuses is actually a very low number. So if you go and look at some of the other brands, they've had much more rapid expansion. Shrewsbury has chosen to take a very deliberate approach. It's very careful with the people it partners with. And so India, in part, the reason for coming to India, in part, is Jagran Social Welfare Society, a very well-established education organisation that is in Madhya Pradesh and has been in Madhya Pradesh for 30 years. Importantly, Jagran Social Welfare Society has built 14 institutions already. So this is not their first school project. It has 4 secondary schools and a university within it, in its group. Okay. So they have the infrastructure, the civil engineering experience to bring what is a very ambitious project to life. So we have a huge campus here, 150 acres. That I think was very attractive to Shrewsbury. For me as a founding headmaster, I was really looking for educational philosophy, and I was delighted to find that Jagran Social Welfare Society is a values-driven education provider, very focused on providing students with the best experience. And those people who know about Shrewsbury will know that it is one of the very best schools in the UK and has been throughout its life. I mean, it was mentioned as one of the great schools in 1864 in the Clarendon Report, and it has continued to succeed beyond that. And everyone who's been involved in business knows that you don't keep succeeding by looking backwards and resting on legacy and tradition. Actually, you need to be forward-looking. And that's exactly what Shrewsbury's done. They've kept refreshing their educational philosophy, and it is extremely well thought out, whole person education, which works extremely well, I think, with the education environment in India and what parents are looking for in a residential boarding school as well.
And so my second question is why Bhopal? Because it's like not a, we can say, metropolitan city or a tier one city in India. Why not a tier one city? And why instead of that Bhopal?
Fine. I talked to lots of parents from tier one cities. Their experience of education, and often they're quite happy with the day school experience that they're receiving. But the day school experience in the tier one city tends to be very academic. It doesn't have the co-curricular offered at the same school. So they find themselves with this situation where their child is going to school in the morning, coming back, and then as a family, they have a logistics nightmare of getting their child out to co-curricular activities. At the same time, I think that there won't be anyone listening to this who doesn't know about the pollution in the tier one cities. And so Bhopal, one of the cleanest state capitals in India, and it's stunning. But the practicality of finding 150 acres in India, and I know India is huge, but 150 acres on which you can build is actually quite difficult. Bhopal is central. So actually, once you're in India, it's relatively easy to get to. At the moment, we're a mere 40 minutes away from Bhopal Airport, and there are many other residential schools in India which are not in tier one cities. And even when you get to the airport, you're looking at 5, 6, 10 hours to get to them. So in a sense, we're very conveniently placed. I like to say, look, our emphasis is on providing our pupils and our staff the time and the space to deliver an outstanding education. And that's what we have here in Bhopal. So we can create the space here to make sure that the young people get to make the most of their educational experience. And we can craft a campus that really does allow us to provide everything a young person needs to explore where their talents and interests lie, and then take those talents and interests towards mastery without having to commute backwards and forwards. So there's a lot of time saving involved in the residential setting, but most importantly, it provides a much richer environment for that whole person development as well.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So my next question will be how many students and in which all classes will be enrolled this year? And has the process has already begun?
Oh, so yes, I've been in India since July last year with a primary focus on recruiting pupils and staff. We're taking admissions in grades 6, 7, 8, 9 and 11. And it's worth noting here that we're following the Cambridge curriculum. And in the Cambridge curriculum, grades 9 and 10 are focused on IGCSEs, International General Certificates of Secondary Education, and that's a 2-year programme. And then similarly, when you get into grade 11, we'll be following the A-level programme, again, is a 2-year programme. So I always say to parents, look, on these programmes, there's really no point rushing. You need to get the 2 years in, and this is true both for IGCSEs and for A-levels as well. The reason we've gone for Cambridge is it gives us great flexibility. So we have young people who are developing skills on the co-curricular sporting front. We can actually build that into their timetable, their curricular experience as well.
Yeah. And so with the any Indian curriculum will also be followed at the campus along.
I'm very conscious of the fact that we're bringing a British curriculum to India. We're bringing the Shrewsbury education philosophy. What I would observe is that actually Cambridge and IGCSE in particular already have a strong presence in India.
Yeah.
Perhaps less so on the international A levels, but I think it's the international A levels that our parents and pupils will find attractive because it allows young people to focus very closely on where their academic interests lie. And we think that's the best preparation for university. I am absolutely committed to ensuring that we have a genuine Indian identity. Our faculty are being recruited. Yes, about 50% are coming from overseas, largely driven by the fact we want to have experience of delivery of A-levels and the management of A-levels. But we also wanted to make sure that we had 50% of our staff from India itself to really inform and advise the way that we craft our school culture. And I've been very clear that my expectation is that the Indian location will be very much in evidence in the way that we conduct ourselves at school, and certainly in the visual and performing arts. I'm looking forward to seeing the Indian influence that will come and decorate the school and help us celebrate as a school community as well.
Yeah, that's lovely. It will give like a global perspective to the campus, right? So my next question will be on fee structure. So when the fee structure, I think it has been already decided. So was Indian context kept in mind, and how has been the parents' reaction so far in terms of fee structure?
Yeah.
Are they satisfied?
Sorry, beg your pardon. I think what I would say is we are a premium school, so we are the very end of the fee structure that you'll encounter in the market in India. So we're there, but we are providing an outstanding global whole person education. If you were to compare the fees that would be paid for an education at Shrewsbury International School in India with any of the large HMC headmasters conference, headmasters and headmistress conference schools in the UK, yeah. We are a fraction of the cost there. And in fact, I think yes, We are looking at the premium end of the market in India. But we think, in fact, that we will be very, very attractive, not only to that part of the market from India, but as we grow and develop, we will be increasingly attractive to many other international markets, which are actually much closer to India than they are to the UK or the US. And certainly, we will be providing the educational experience that will be second to none.
I'm sure. So, you guys are launching a campus in India at a time when we have a new educational policy, the National Education Policy 2020 is in place. What are your opinions about the policy? Because right now we are also in the initial years of implementing the policy in India. It focuses a
Yes.
lot on globalization and internationalization.
I think actually India can take great pride in its reforms in education. And I'm very mindful of the fact that India has a very strong educational heritage of its own. I'm looking forward to making the most of that heritage in what we do at Shrewsbury International School in India. I think there is much to be gained from seeing different ways of doing things done all around the world. And the Cambridge approach, the IGCSEs and the A levels are but one way to do things. It happens to suit our educational philosophy, and it'll be on there as an offer to the parents and pupils who are interested in that kind of education. At the same time, I'm delighted that Indian education on the whole is such a vibrant sector at the moment. It's really encouraging, and certainly the conversations I have with educators in India demonstrate that there's great thought, great care, great compassion being exerted across all the different segments of the market.
Yeah. So right now, currently in present context, there's a lot of craze in India for international education boards. You were mentioning about Cambridge, IB, and others. How do you see that?
I think the bottom line in these things really comes down to pupil experience and parent experience. And if you go and speak to pupils and parents, it will come down to the outcomes. So there's a piece around, yes, you've received that international education with all that goes with that, but that doesn't count for anything unless it leads to something else. And so I think what that demonstrates is there's still much to be gained from seeing how exam boards like the IB and like Cambridge in India actually present and encourage schools to deliver the curriculum. When I look at the most recent reforms in India, what I recognise is that there is a step in that direction. At the same time, I'm looking forward to my conversations with the Cambridge board about what I've picked up about what's done in India to help them improve. And they'll be very happy to, because they are always looking to make themselves the very best match for the pupils who want to take IGCSEs and A levels and the lower secondary programme also.
That's correct. So, so my last question will be, in India, we have several legacy boarding schools. You must have heard about Doon, there is Mayo, many others are there, which are like, they also have like more than 100-year-old legacies now. So how Shrewsbury is going to be different and compete with them, I may say?
So I think the headmasters will be jealous of the fact that I have a brand new campus here. So we've got state-of-the-art facilities, all built with modern pedagogy, modern teaching approaches in mind. And we have a fabulous education philosophy that really combines the best of the thinking at Shrewsbury with Jagran Social Welfare Society as well. Our offering, I believe, is unique. I would encourage parents who are interested really to come and see what we do here. What I say to parents is, look, the only way you're going to be able to choose the best school for your child is to go and visit the school, meet the headmaster, meet the staff, and parents will very quickly establish whether it's the right place for their children. And I'm looking forward to explaining to those parents what we can do for their children at Shrewsbury International School in India. And I think we will attract large numbers of pupils who are interested in that more international side of education and having the opportunity to enjoy the magnificent facilities that we have here at Shrewsbury International School in India.
I am sure. And one thing we missed earlier, how many students we are planning to have in the first academic year?
We're aiming for 80 students in our first academic year. The proprietor has been very clear with me that actually the capacity for the campus here will be fixed at about 650 to 70.
Okay.
So if you think about 150 acres, 650 to 700 kids, it is really about making sure that those pupils have the very best of education experiences. And I'm looking forward to bringing that to life in the course of the next few years.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks a lot for sharing the insights, sir.
My great pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.